Okay, so our presentation will be on the U.S. energy production and consumption. So our program will focus on analyzing the data from the U.S. Energy Information Administration. It'll cover the range from 1950 to 2014, and we've broken down into three sections. The first section will be on the production by source, as listed, the fossil fuels, nuclear electric power, and the renewable. Our second program will focus on the consumption by source, which will be the fossil fuel, nuclear electric power, and renewable. And our third section will be on consumption by sector, which will cover the residential, commercial, industrial, transportation, and electrical power. This will be our input, which you can do by decade.
And the reason we chose this data set is because we're both studying chemical engineering here at UIC, and the prominent domain of chemical engineering are in energy, pharmaceuticals, bulk chemicals, and many more. And the reason we're analyzing energy data is because we're both interested in the energy sector and we wanted to know more about it. And from the monthly review, monthly energy review, we took two data sets, the primary energy overview and the energy consumption by sector. Now we're gonna have a demonstration of our MATLAB program. So we typed in, and then here's our input
menu.
So here's our option one. It is the energy production history.
There we go.
Oh, here it is. So this analyzes the U.S. primary energy production from 1950 to 2014, and this top line is the fossil fuel production, and then these bottom two lines are the nuclear and the renewable energy one. And as you can see, in 2014, the renewable rises over the nuclear. Okay. And then this is our second one. So it's the energy consumption by source from 1950 to 2010. And these are overlaid bar graphs. And what they are is a 5-year average. So the dark blue, it's kind of hard to see. The dark blue is the total energy production that's made in the US. And then the dark green is the total fossil fuel consumption. And then the neon green is the total nuclear electric consumption. And then the magenta color is the total renewable energy consumption. And the reason that the blue is much less than the consumption, the production is much less than the consumption, is because the U.S. is not self-sufficient, and so that's why gas prices was so high in the last few years, because we have to import a lot of energy, like fossil energy, gasoline, from like the fossil fuel from the Middle East. So now we're gonna move on to our last operation. This is the interactive one. I'm gonna let my partner explain it.
Okay, so our last one is an interactive one, which does a percent energy consumption by the decade. So the default is the 1950 decade. And here's our pie graph, which distributes between electric power, transportation, industrial, commercial, and residential. In addition, since we're currently not in a full decade yet, we can go up to 2010, and it'll cover everything up to 2014. And here's our current one with our electric power, transportation, industrial, commercial, and residential. These distributions are based on a summation of the 10 years prior, except for our current one, which would only be 4. That'll be it.
And that is our program.